If you're thinking about renovating your house, there are so many things you need to know. One of those is that surprises always happen. So we're here at the house, and the three areas of surprises that we discovered in our project were electrical, structural, and windows. So we're gonna start with electrical. There's three pieces to that, three different surprises we had. One was the utility company came out because we had to just disconnect our service. Our underground utilities that came from the street to the house, the conduit that carried that wire was not large enough. So we had a 2.5 inch diameter and we needed a 3-inch diameter. It seemed that the utility company was as surprised as we were about that. This is the old electrical panel, and when we moved in about 5 years ago, we just had 200 amps of service. Okay, that's one box, just like this. And it was pretty much full. If we needed to add anything else, it was gonna be a struggle. So we decided to go from 200 amps to 400 amps. So when you update electrical on an older home, you have to pull a permit if you're doing it right. And when you pull a permit on an electrical project, you may have to bring the electrical system of the entire house up to current building code. This home was built in 1973. Building code was different then. So two things that we had to change when we pulled that permit and bring this house up to current code. We had to have smoke detectors in every single room. The electrician, when he rewired the whole house, put these in every bedroom. All right, and they're connected on a circuit, so they talk to each other. If one goes off, they'll all go off, okay, to alert the whole house. And then there's a normal outlet. You have to have those every 8 feet minimum. So back in 1973, they had them probably every 10 or 12 feet, I'm not sure, but so that means adding outlets to your house. Let's talk about structural now. We've moved past the electrical surprises. The big structural surprise we had when we bought this house about 5 years ago, this space here, this was a wall. It had already been opened up. This support beam was an LVL, okay, which is pressed wood boards together to provide added support to a structure when you're opening up a wall like this. The LVL that was installed at that time was good support for about 9 feet. This is 18 feet. And so over the last 5 years, we've noticed there was starting to be a sag in this beam. And so our contractor suggested we go back with this 8-inch steel I-beam, which provides plenty of support. There should be no movement, no sagging, and we shouldn't have to worry about that anymore. So probably the biggest surprise of all were the windows. We had, again, as part of pulling a permit, the city comes and inspects what has been done to make sure that it's appropriate and it's been done right. One thing that was not in our scope of work were windows. And so we had no intention of touching these, at least for the time being. They're vinyl windows, they're in decent shape, they open and close, and they serve the purpose that we need them to for right now. Well, what the Huntsville City Code Inspector said was that these are not large enough to exit in case of a fire. So egress is the term they use. If there were a fire, this space that's open is not large enough to get out of. So they want us to either install larger windows, so cut a bigger hole and make bigger windows, or install casement windows, which is the kind that crank out and the whole panel go out. So once again, that was the biggest surprise because it will probably also be the biggest expense.